Yo, what's up guys? Time to make a most wanted LD5 tier list once again. I do have the LD blessing and a lot of people have been asking me is like, yo, say what would you really like to pull and not like to pull from these units. So let's just do a simple tier list of what I like. I will also place them of where I will be using them or how often will I be using them, including if it's a great pull, and I will give a little bit of an insight of like where I would use certain units will be better for me because I have other pairs or good runes or good artifacts for them. But let's just see. I would say Han, I think I will place Han at a would use, but I don't really think it is a great pull. Sure, I have the Nefties, not the Nefties, I have the Nyx, I have the Gianna, so I do have great pairs for a Han. But would it necessarily be a great pull? I'm not too sure, because Han is not super commonly used these days. Maybe it would be a great pull if I actually get to use it a bit and I actually start enjoying it, but I would give it a would use. Achroma is a dupe. Trinity would be a storage guardian. Zeratul would be, I would say, in all honesty, a great pull. I wouldn't mind the Zeratul, or not Zeratul, Serath. I wouldn't mind the Serath, mainly because of great for Giants. Mainly Giants more than anything, in all honesty. But I can also make some arena offenses with it, where you just go for like a super old school style. Well, then again, Leo kind of does that as well. I think I'll give it a would use, because it's just kind of Giants. I think I can make some teams here and there for like siege offense and that kind of stuff, but I might as well just use the Zyros and he would clap that as well. I do think I have great Serath runes, however. Grogan is a Duperino. Eludia, I would use, but it's very niche. I'm not the biggest Eludia fan. I do have a Wooyoung, which I could pair with Eludia, which kind of gets to a point where you can kind of do something. Maybe you could go to a... Well, no, I think I would actually maybe use that from some fun arena offenses. But then again, I already have plenty of arena offense that I don't really need that much. But what I could do is a Wooyoung, Eludia, Kabila, Grogan. Something along those lines would definitely hurt. That is definitely a pretty darn strong team. However, you fight every passive with like fire Jins and whatnot. Like there's so many annoying passive these days that it might be a little bit annoying to utilize that fully. But I could see a world where that's actually kind of used. So I give it out a would use. Jara, I think I would only use Jara in maybe a random siege defense, but in our guild we're not really using Jara on siege defense. It could be used with some stuff. I'm not the biggest fans of it. And I would probably use it in Temple of Chaos, but that is like once a month, so I would claim that very niche. Sean, would I say that you are a storage guardian? I would have particular very good runes for him, but the thing is, I don't really like him. If I were to draft him, I might as well just draft a Theor. I feel like Theor just does more, so think he is more storage guardian than anything, in all honesty. Zeratul, I would throw him in RTA. Worst case scenario, if I don't have runes left over for him, I just make him a Leo counter. So I just put 0 speed to him and like give him crazy stats, because this unit still hurts like a motherfucker. So I would definitely use that. Julian, I would say I'll give you a would use as well. Is more of a late pick nowadays. Does actually need pretty decent runes to do good, but still a dangerous unit right there and can actually work pretty well, especially next to a bunch of supports like the Lima I have. Cadiz is a dupe, Lima is a dupe, and Gianna is a dupe. And Laura is an absolute most wanted. I have great Laura runes. I do think I also have good artifacts for Laura. Plus, I have the best pairs with like Gojo, Tian Lang, Nafties, blah, 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 all of that kind of stuff. Plus, she's still the best arena defense unit, in my opinion, if you go for speed contesting. Plus, she's also one of the better siege defense units, in my opinion. So she's pretty much all the way somewhere up here. She's crazy high off the chart on all of that. We have a Nikki that would be a dupe. We would have a Jaeger. Jaeger, great pull in the current state of the game, or is that just a would use? I would definitely use him, 100%. I think I wouldn't mind him though. Like, he's not as good in the meta as was before, but I think he's still a great pull. Jaeger is definitely still a great pull. I would say Ragdoll is absolutely a great pull. I would even say that the Ragdoll is a higher great pull than that for sure. It's just one of those units that it doesn't really take any runes from anything else. You can still run it up good. The enemy goes for a random Ethna or whatever, and it's like, oh, suddenly you were speed contesting, but now my whole team moves because you randomly crit it. Still really great. Light Monkey is a Duperino. This one is also a Duperino. To be honest, I will place all of the dupes later towards like where I would use them if I don't have them as well. But first I'll place them all in dupes. Artemil, would I say would use or Storage Guardian? It doesn't really use runes of anything else, but it's just not really its meta where it's good. So I think Artemil is actually kind of bad. Fermion, I would maybe use in some... Yeah, I would use Fermion. Well, I think I would use both in some siege offenses more than anything. This thing, I don't think I would use. Rahul, I would use in some siege offense. You can, in the end, make Rahul your dark tank on 33 with an Adrian and then your nuker next to it. And then because of that, you actually have like a guaranteed outspeed. So I would use Rahul for that, and probably they would ask me to make some defense with it. But to be honest, I hate every Rahul defense because it's straight up just hate gang food 99% of the time. Asima, I would say Asima's kind of losing its value because it used to be one of very few, if not the only one, Deathbreaker multi-hitter. But now we have so many Deathbreaker multi-hitters AoE that she kind of lost value. She's also just kind of a Rika-ish, so I would say would use, well, what used to be one of my most wanted way back in the day when I started playing the game. I had one rep of Asima, which was just always destroying everything. But yeah, current state of the game, not really. Kraka, I would also say would use, but more niche. It's more of a siege unit than anything. Yan Hong is an absolute most wanted for me. Not by Yan Hong being crazy good at the moment, but I have really good Yan Hong runes. Because the Asher runes that I have would fit even better on the Yan Hong because it would be +1 speed. Because I have a attack 6 that's faster than my HP 6 on Swift. And I would definitely throw those runes at her. That would be a crit damage Yan Hong on like 240 speed with like 75 crit rate. That's gonna hurt, I can tell you that much. So yeah, that would be a good one. Wu Yong is a Duperino. Nigong is a Duperino. Wunsa. Ooh, I would say I have good Wunsa runes if I take away some runes from Asher. Because the crit damage 4 that I have on Will would actually really fit on a Wunsa. The question is, would I put that on a unit that's kind of a late pick? I'm not sure, but yeah, I think Wunsa would be a great pull for me. This one, apparently it's bugged. Scribble told me that if you do an S2, you don't get attack bar gain at the moment. I guess I would use it, but it's also one of those things like you can make some niche cool comps with it, but it's not really something that I would really be crazy about, to be honest. Maybe I think it would be more of a niche pick over here. I think it would be on the top of niche pick. This one goes straight to the storage for me. I really don't like this unit. These two, no one cares. Panthers, I would use. And whether your Panthers is on a weird double Nem wheel tech, that could be nice as a late pick sometimes here and there. There's some arena defenses with Panthers still out there that could be kind of annoying because if your Panthers RNGs match just over. So I would use a Panthers, yep. Manananan, I've seen some people use Manananan in PvE, but he still doesn't kill the whole waves in PvE, so I'm just like, no, I'm not a big Manananan fan. I have seen some people go for like a Tiana Galleon Manananan, but I have a Grogan and I barely even use that, and if I were to use that, this is that. Sylvia, in all honesty, I would pay Sylvia as a great pull. I would really not mind a Sylvia. I think she's a very cool unit. In the end, I'm not just an RTA player. I play all of the content in the game, and she's the best unit in Siege out there, and there's absolutely no doubt that she will remain that. So I think I will go for a great pull there. The Bay. If I were to use the Bay, it would probably be a Leo count. Otherwise, you have to make a whole team around the Bay, and I would definitely not do that. So would just be over there. Isis, I would also keep it runed up, but it would be one of those like, please ban it, or you're just like your 5 passive team. Well, maybe I just rate her a little bit too high, I don't know, but I think I would use her as a passive counter. Like if people rock in a 5 passive, I can just use that, plus TOC and those kind of things become pretty easy. Nephthys is a dupe. Wedget. In all honesty, I'm not a big fan of Wedget. Like, if you go for Wedget, you have to give him the best runes you actually have. And I definitely don't see myself doing that anytime soon. It could kind of fit with a Gojo, making Gojo deal more damage, but nah. Oberon, I guess I would use, but I already have a lot of single target nukers on Light and Dark. I have Kiara, I have Ian. Doesn't Oberon really add more to that? Not necessarily. Maybe also a Leo counter, kind of Oberon, like on the Nem will kind of thing that I would put it, so something like that. This is a dupe, that is a dupe. Mi Ying, I feel like Mi Ying is a little bit underrated. In the right draft, he's still pretty strong. It's just a big issue where his passive has 2 turns off time, where Josephine passive has a 1 turn off time. What does that mean? If you stun a Josephine, she needs to take 1 proc and she has passive back. This thing has to take 2 turns after that. So just 1 proc doesn't give this thing the passive back. If he were to get that cooldown decrease, he would be really good once again. He was crazy good for 1 meta, but I think I would use him, keep him ruined up as more so like a bruiser unit if the enemy doesn't have any form of proper damage. So a lot of support units and those kind of things. Then I think I would be a wood use, but I think I would put it a little bit higher because I decently like this unit as a late pick, to be honest, because this thing still, on the death break, decent runes, this thing still smacks for like 10k straight up, which is a lot of damage. Celia is for me a storage guardian. Viva Chell is... people are going to dislike me for this one, but I'm going to be for Viva Chell probably over here as well. I really don't like Viva Chell that much. I would definitely rune it up on Violent, just a little bit faster than the rest of my team as a counter pick. I would definitely not be spam picking Viva Chell. I'm not a big fan of that unit. Well, let's just say, no, I would I actually use that? No, I would give it a wood use. I would give it a wood use, but it's definitely not the most wanted for me. My light pony goes to the dupes. Dark Pony, I would maybe try her out on defense. However, she has such a big double Nobara issue that it's just almost terrible. So, all the way at the very end over there. This one, Leona goes straight up Storage Guardian for me. Valentis goes straight up Storage Guardian for me. Pantas, or not Pantas, Pater. Pater would be, yeah, Pater would be used. I would not mind a Pater. I think I would make more of a Pater on a Bruiser kind of style rather than outspeeding my whole team. But yeah, no, I think Pater would be nice. I don't classify it as a great pull though, because I'm not that much of a Pater fan, but he's pretty decent. Let's put him all the way up there. Geldnir, I think it would be a niche use, not that great. Hertite straight up in there. Bella goes over there in the dupes. Lucifer, I would definitely use a Lucifer. Yeah, it's pretty much... Well, in PvE, it's not as common anymore for an arena offense. I think I have good enough, especially with the split of the runes right now. I think it's a lot more doable to go for Lucifer hits once again. Mainly because you can throw your absolute best set at a Rage Leo, and then even if they have shield runes, you can maybe still break through them if your Leo is high enough on damage. So I think I would be able to make a Lucifer team still work in arena offense. Beals is Dupe. Narsha, I think it would be a niche usage. Like, it is a good unit, but she needs crazy good runes to actually be good. And she needs like a whole team based around her, like finesses and that kind of stuff. And I would not really build that. So she would be a niche usage maybe for like siege defense kind of stuff. Sienna is a dupe. Humble is a dupe. Mukwo is a storage. Really dislike this unit. Sorry, Obabo. I dislike this unit. It's just straight up trash for me. Talisman. I would definitely use a Talisman. I do already have Grogan, but in some cases, it's better to go for a Talisman than a Grogan because he's just higher by base by a fair bit. I think he's 103, whereas Grogan is like below 100. It's like 97 or something. I don't even remember exact numbers, but that's for some RTA comps, if it could be working as some kind of cleave. Plus, yeah, no, I have the Wooyoung. I was thinking about a Wooyoung pair, but it's not really great on a Wooyoung pair. So I would say Talisman is would be used, but maybe it's more of a would be used but niche, to be honest, because I already have the Grogan in there. So that is mainly just me having Grogan, which I argue is better than Talisman if you have good runes. Van Cleef, I'm not a big fan of a Van Cleef. Maybe I would use it in some siege offenses. I've seen some people go siege offense with Hyannis and Van Cleef, and then something else in the final slot. Personally, not a big fan. No, I'm just gonna place him over there. Like maybe all the way of at the top of Storage Guardian, but there. Greg in current state of the game is a great pull. It's just an overall great cleaver. It works really well with the Lamilia comp, Lamilia Venton. So I'll place him over there. Gurkha, I think Gurkha's not a Storage Guardian for me. I would say even that he is a top of the line would be used and niche. And the main thing is because I have Seimei. Because Seimei and Gurkha together is technically the old Gurkha that's healing on every S1. Because most S1 lands some debuff. Therefore Gurkha gets some healing in and that kind of stuff. So that would work. Dumon is not super common these days. Big issue she has is where if she dies, her S3 goes away. Plus, fighting shields kind of makes it worse as well. But I would say top of the line, niche kind of thing as well. Ongyuki, I feel like his damage output is a little bit lacking. He could be decent-ish. I might use him for some arena offense to kill, like, because it's getting more common to have Camillas in there. And this thing is a Camilla Slayer, though, like, straight up. So I think I would rate Ongyuki as niche, would be used somewhere. Dorothy straight up goes Storage Guardian for me. I really don't like this unit. Kiki, I would probably use here and there, but it's more of a niche pick right there. But more top of the line niche as well. Daniel is for my main account, if I pull a Daniel, because on my alt I actually barely use this straight up like a Storage Guardian, but that's because I don't have the setups. On my main I would have the setup, so it becomes a little bit more over there. Jackson, I would also say more of a niche late pick kind of thing, but he also goes like more towards the top of the line of niche late picks that could be decent here and there. Ella, honestly, I'm not that much of an Ella fan. I think she's gonna be somewhere around here as well. Like, some people really like her, but too much passive play for me to actually like it. Then we have Maya, straight up Storage Guardian. Benedict, top of the line Storage Guardian. Maximilian is a dupe. Jean is bottom of the line Storage Guardian. Ritsu is a dupe Reno. Veronica, oh, I'm kind of tempted between niche bottom line or Storage Guardian. I think that I would kind of go for a random Swift set on her and keep her as like a niche pick here or there. That it's like, because that's one of those things similar to a segment. Like, you expect it to not land when you play it, but the enemy cannot just draft into it being like, no, it's gonna get resisted anyways, because what if it actually does land? So she has good enough base speed that if you throw like a 210 Swift set at it, it's probably fine and good enough to be used. So yeah. Destiny, I would use that. She just has too much cool factor to be Storage Guardian. She's really crazy hard to ruin, but I would just use her because, in my opinion, she's one of the coolest units in game. So she just gets the cool factor over there, so I just want to use her. This thing goes straight up to the Storage Guardian. This thing, it was good for a little bit against a bunch of things. I think I would rune it up similar to like the Veronica. Just a random 210 Swift set at it, and could be kind of nice by having the support-ish strip that also has Oblivion, which is kind of rare in the first place. I think both of them actually do go quite a bit higher. I think they would go more somewhere around these tiers. Audrey, think she is in a Bruiser fight a little bit underrated sometimes, but she's also not particularly crazy good. Giselle, somewhat same thing. I would say also a niche pick here and there. Kovaci, I'm not a big Kovaci fan. Like, if you play Kovaci, you have to build a whole comp around Kovaci. Maybe it's more a siege offense unit for me than anything, but I'll go for a niche as well. Zenizek, issue I have with Zenizek is that he has too much of a Layla issue. You want to build it faster than your whole team, but he's kind of slow. And you want to build it on Violent, which just kind of issues. I would say probably on Zenizek, I wouldn't make it that much of a rare pick. I would just build it on Swift. Okay, sucks that you can't Vio. But at least it's usable and in front of the whole team. And then he becomes a really good 5th pick. And he is like a must ban on the 5th pick. So I would give him a pretty high niche. But I would just build him on Swift just to make it easy to build. Ian is a dupe. Salah is straight up storage. Kiara is a dupe. Burkhild is... I'm not a big Burkhild fan. Just a niche pick here or there. Sigrid. I think that Sigrid in the end ends up for me on storage. Yeah, I don't really see a reason why I would use that. Sure, if you have a Han and those kind of things, it's nice. But without that, no. Indra, which is, I forgot his name, but whatever the light Indra's name is. Would I use it? No, I have the Dark Monkey, and Dark Monkey is pretty much just everything this is, but slightly better. So I think it's going to be a top-end Storage Guardian for me. If you don't have a Dark Monkey, it's actually good, but yeah. Devaraja, to be honest, is Storage Guardian for me as well, because the Parjana is just simply better in a lot of cases. Jessica would be niche use here and there. Can actually be some counters in RTA, can be some arena defense, but to be honest, for arena defense, I don't even like it that much, but it is okay-ish here and there, so would be a niche use, I guess. Eliana is over there. Uldong, I would use an Uldong, I guess. Would I use it RTA-wise? Probably not, but there's plenty of other content in PvE where I would use it, where I wouldn't mind him. So, yeah. Light Twins. Ooh, there's so many good strips nowadays. Since I have the Gojo and that kind of stuff, and the Lima and everything, would I use Light Twins? I would give them a try, but I'll place them over here. Dark Twins, probably niche, but more bottom line. Lars, I would say, sorry, Lars, Storage Guardian. This one, Storage Guardian. This one over there is a dupe. Hilda, Storage Guardian for me, don't like this unit. Groa, I would use that for some siege offense. It's not that bad, but I'm not a big fan. Celestra, still kind of a Lucian, but needs more setup, so not that great. Silver, I would definitely use. I don't mind myself a Silver. Just make it a little bit slower on Violent than your whole team. It's definitely a nice unit right there. Nyx with a 1, I would use that as counter picks. Yep, I definitely do think he's pretty decent as well. Freedion, he can be kind of annoying as well, but he's more niche, but more top-end niche at the moment for me. This thing is more niche, but bottom end. That thing is this one is over there. I would say Gojo Dark. I would still definitely like a Gojo Dark because he's, in my opinion, still one of the best arena defenses out there. Can also be used for siege defense. Plus, as a late pick, he's just an ISIS++. So, in the end, people have to respect him if people lock them in against full Bruiser teams. Itadori on Dark, which is the Rig. Very good for TOC. I would also probably use it in some matches in RTA and Siege. So, I would say that's a would use. Megumi on Dark. I'm personally not the biggest of fans unless you actually throw like a really good speed set at him, which I probably won't. But let's just say middle of the tier would be niche. Then we have Nobara on Lights. Also not a bad unit at the moment, so more of like somewhere over there. Mortera, I would... she's kind of boring, but she's definitely good. Is she good in the current meta, though? Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely use her, but more of like at the end of would use. Valeska, great pull over there. Would definitely like a Valeska. She's just fun and overall. This thing is fun if you play a whole comp around it, but for me, it's going to be more niche. Simra for you, which is just a fake Dark Aragorn in my opinion. This thing, I think, goes more top of the line because I do have like a Wu Young pair with this Tanjiro Light that's actually kind of strong and kind of stupid. Plus, it does have the AoE brand and Provoke as well, which is actually kind of a good CC unit for having an ignore defense on Nestu. It does require really good runes, but I think that a Tanjiro on Light is actually pretty strong. Nesgo Dark, would I say a straight up would use or would I say a niche? I'm not sure. I haven't seen that many people have like really good success with her nowadays. So I think that she would pretty much go over there. Or no, actually I'm gonna bump up both of them. I think that I would place a would use on both of them. Dark Zenny all the way goes to the top. This thing is just like crazy good at the moment. Plus I do think I have pretty good runes for it. So that would be an insane pick right there. This thing goes straight to storage. Inosuke on a light. I would say I would use it, but it is a little bit of a niche pick, I would say. But probably somewhere over here. He needs very good runes to actually deal proper damage. Light Warring, I do really still like myself Light Warring. I think it's one of the better units to be able to pull at the moment. It's still... I think he's underused at the moment because people are like, oh, he was nerfed, I can't use him again. It's like, no, he's still stupidly strong. Light Nina, I think as a late pick, especially with the draft that I'm doing with like Lima and that kind of stuff, and Song Chang Lao is very freaking strong. So I would still like a Light Nina. Does kind of need a branding to do proper full-on damage, otherwise you don't really get there, and it was really good in the Vandal meta. Now it's a little bit worse, but she still has stupid for damage, so I wouldn't not mind a Light Nina. This thing is straight up storage. This thing would definitely be used for arena defense. It's actually pretty darn strong for arena defense, but only arena defense. Then we have this thing. I've seen this thing being used for some arena defenses as well, but it's more niche than good in my opinion. This thing is just a fake Nefty, so I think that will be a Storage Guardian. This thing is just full-on damage dealer, but needs so much setup that it's straight trash. Light Gandalf, for anyone that says Light Gandalf is unusable right now, I feel like that the Light Gandalf change is almost a buff because the stun no longer interrupts him doing his skills, which actually makes him very good once again. And still, if you check the top end of arena defense, it's all Light Gandalf. So Light Gandalf, Mr. Oldwood, still good. Dark Gandalf, I really don't see why people glaze that unit. He's super trash in my opinion. Dark Aragorn, a great pick. Still a really strong unit in my opinion. Would absolutely use that. Light Legolas is definitely something I would use. I still don't like that he's over 2 to 5 shot on the S1, but I would use that. I think he's a cool unit. Plasma on Light. That's the one that throws back your shit. I think that you would end up in the storage. I think the dark one, maybe a niche use. Well, let's go for niche use on both of them. Freerun goes to Storage Guardian. Dark Freerun would go to a... Is that a Great Pool? I think that she would be a Great Pool, yeah. And I would say this one is also Great Pool. Like, both of them are actually pretty solid and kind of... There's more like straight up 5th pick on this one, but I think she would be a Great Pool. Maybe more of like you on... Well, for the playstyle I have, which one would be stronger? No, I think both of them, actually for my playstyle, both of them would actually be Great Pools. Because I do play a lot of AoE CC kind of style, which enables you to be good. Plus, I do play a fair bit where people still like to go for CCing into me, and then this thing would be good as well. So I think that both of them would be good. And then Mr. Tony Stark, I would say more of a niche pull, but then high up. Or would it be a wood use? He's not really fitting my playstyle that much. Like, if you play more Bruiser, he fits more, but I think he's somewhere over there. So yeah, these are all of the units that I do have and do not have, and where I would like to place them. And yeah, there's actually a lot of them are in the niche pile. We have a good bit of Storage Guardians as well. Hopefully we dodge all of these with the LD Blessing. I will be saving this one and also be reverting back to this one the moment I do pop the Blessing. So I will be exporting this. And let's also place all of my dupes towards where I would place them if I didn't have them yet. However, a lot of these units are placed somewhere because of the LDs I already have. So it's a little bit of a twisted one, but just for people of the idea of where do I rate my LDs in the first place. Okay, well, let's see. A Chroma. Chroma in current state of the game, niche, but would be used. Garogan, definitely would be used and all the way up top. Cadiz, I would say I started liking him in the meta with the Gandalf, but since that is kind of gone, and also he was a great counter to Schumer, since both of them are kind of gone, I feel like that he's more fitting of a niche rather than actual good. Lima is a great pull at the moment. Gianna is or most wanted pull even. Or does she have actually most wanted pull? No, I think Lima is actually a really great one. Gianna is a great pull, but it's definitely not a most wanted if I didn't have one. Siri thing is a wood use, but mainly for siege. This thing, Nikki, is for Nikki. For me, almost is more Storage Guardian than anything, but will be niche used, but all the way at the back. I actually don't really use Nikki at all, but this thing is more of a Storage Guardian, in all honesty. He needs more attack bar pushback. Zhongchen Lao is a great pull, definitely one of the best units in game right now. These two are aiming at a nerf, potentially. Wuyong is a niche. Nigong is a Storage Guardian, in honesty. Neftis is a great pull, mainly because of just all-round uses. Well, either how, I don't use her as much anymore these days, so let's actually just one down her to a great pull. She's not the most wanted pull. She's just good, but she's not crazy. Nyx, in all honesty, people are gonna hate me for this, but it's a niche pull for me rather than anything. Dion Lang is that the most wanted or is that a great pull? I think I would put him top of the line great pull. Because he's not as spammable as these two are. It's more of a counter pick. It's a great counter pick because he really does fuck up the Megumi, which is the most picked unit in game. But there's also still a lot of matchups where he is S2, just doesn't do shit. So I think he's a great pull over there. This thing, in my opinion, is fucking overrated, so therefore it's just a niche. It would be used, but it's niche. Bella is a Storage Guardian. This thing is definitely... Is it a great point or would use? I think I classify you more of a would use. Well, the thing is, I have Tian Lang. And because of having Tian Lang, Beelzebub is more often shittier than not. So without the Tian Lang on your account, I think that this thing is a great pull. Let's be honest on that. It's a good unit. Siana is a niche. Hanwo is a end of niche. Seimei is a great pull. Maximilian is a would use. Ritsu is a Storage Guardian. This thing is a... would I say it's just used for siege offense? I would say high end over here. Well, to be honest, this thing is siege offense as well, but this one I really like a siege offense. This one is an okay siege offense. Same for Kiara. This thing is straight up Storage Guardian, and this thing is Gojo most wanted or a great pull? I think you have plenty enough other good speed leads, so I think I'm gonna place him over here due to the... Well, he's kind of decent in meta again. No, I think he's kind of fine to... If you want to play AOECC, you can still go for like the Eretion, Lamelia, Venton kind of style. So the two units that I have that will be on most wanted is Zhongshan Lao and Lima. And good odds that Lima gets a nerf, so we'll be back to this. Zhongshan Lao is for, like, what I would say, and that is, of course, my bias by already having those units, so there's like definitely a bias to this. But I think that would be something like this. So I have a lot of units that are in the grade pool. Like this whole pile over here, these units, I'm definitely lucky on having, like, good units. Definitely have a bunch of Storage Guardians as well, but I would say I have more grade pools than straight up Storage Guardians. Plus, I would say the pile of people for being Storage Guardian, I would place a lot of units in would be used but niche, while other people would just place that straight up Storage Guardian in the first place. So I think I give a little bit more chill to units that might actually be kind of shitty. But then again, for great pulls, I'm having good LDs. Can't complain. So let's see what the LD Blessing will do. Only thing I hope is that it doesn't take me 1,000 LD scrolls to actually get anywhere. Because we're currently already sitting at, how many dry? 400-ish dry. Yeah, we're sitting 410 dry. So hopefully it just doesn't take 1,000. That's all what I hope. And then we just see whatever we get from it. Well, guys, thanks for watching for this one. See you as always in the next one. And let me know in the comments how much you disagree. Not that you disagree with this list, but how much you disagree with this list. See you later. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.